We have a transformative week full of planetary transits. In this week's astrology, Scorpio season begins, causing our egos to gain a boost from doing things of substance. There will be a lunar eclipse in Taurus. This will be the final lunar eclipse in Taurus for almost about 9 years or so, which can help us understand the importance of living a more tranquil life. Of course, I will be making a separate podcast, separate video for this, as I always do. And it'll be an active week for Mercury and Mars transits, allowing us to communicate more directly and take action on our goals. Solitude will kick off the beginning of the week and intersect mental energy. For this reason, we may require some space to ourselves to sort out our thoughts. Monday and Tuesday have a vibe to it where we are trying to make sense of things, so it might be a period where we're just really craving that alone time to ourselves just to sort out what's going on. Then by the time we get to the 25th all the way up until about the 28th, psychic vibes will be present along with ambition, good luck energy, solitude, imagination and confusion, plus some more mental energy. Around that time we have a concentrated amount of energy, and so we may feel like our moods are fluctuating. We may feel mixed bag at times. There are going to be moments where we want to be social, but there are going to be moments where we need some space to ourselves, but also there are going to be some triggery moments that happen. And this is due to the variety of transits. Also, we've got that lunar eclipse happening on Saturday, so it can be an odd weekend for that reason because your emotions, moods, and just the way you're feeling overall might feel conflicted. So yeah, this is a lively week for sure. Let's look at the next bunch of days and see what we can expect. As a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps this channel grow. And if you'd like to support the work of this channel, you could do so by buying me a fresh cup of coffee. There's a link in the description box below. On the 23rd, the sun goes into Scorpio. Happy Scorpio season and happy birthday to all the Scorpios out there. Once we leave the easygoing vibes of Libra, we shift to a more intense approach under the energy of Scorpio. Our ego sensitivity becomes more pronounced and we become more laser focused. We're able to sharpen our attention on what's important under this energy. We're able to delve beneath the surface when it comes down to the things in our life, including things that sometimes we may not want to look at while we're dealing with Scorpio energy, which is why sometimes Scorpio energy is associated with things that are scary, because sometimes it takes a lot of courage to look at some of the things that we generally don't want to. Sometimes it takes a lot of strength and being fearless to face certain things that maybe we didn't want to know the truth about. And that doesn't always have to come off in a negative way. Unlocking the truth about things has many different definitions to it. But one of the excellent things about this energy is we get comfortable with seeing things for what they are, good, bad, or indifferent, because it's an energy of at least we know what we're dealing with when we're looking into situations or dealing with people in other scenarios. And because of this, we tend to want to go deeper when it comes down to the situations in our life. We become less impressed by the flex or attention-seeking behavior or a person's appearance or anything that's superficial and doesn't allow us to go deep beneath the layers. So it's a time where we may lose interest in things if they're very surface level. Because of the transformative nature of this energy, we may get the urge to release things that no longer serve us. Scorpio seasons, or times when we have a lot of scorpionic energy, is a great time for a much needed detox. It's a great time for purging out things that are causing disruptions to our lives. So this could be about changing patterns or letting go of old patterns that are no longer working for us, behaviors that are not working for us, coping mechanisms that aren't really doing the thing for us anymore. And by the thing, they're counterproductive to getting to the next level and moving past self-sabotaging patterns. So this is the perfect time for a deep cleanse of the things that we need to shed from our life. That way we can empower ourselves and step into higher vibrational energy. Another way Scorpio season can manifest for us is by doing a deeper analysis on the subjects that we're interested in. Because this energy is excellent for concentrating on things, this could be a time where we're able to focus our energy or focus our minds on more complex subjects like metaphysics, occult knowledge, astrology, psychology, science, and other things that we typically don't have the time or bandwidth to really focus on. So this is an excellent time to delve deep on these topics and also do some complex research on things that you're interested in that you generally don't have the time to do. Another way this focused energy can manifest is through taking time to be more inward and self-protective with how we spend our time and who we spend our time with. Because of the need for solitude, this does give us more time to focus on those complex topics and do that research, and again, reflect inwardly and start working on the things that we need to transform in our lives. Also, The reserved part of this energy gives us the opportunity to be more cautious about things. A lot of the times we rush into things not thinking about it, or maybe the consequences of it, or the fact that maybe we shouldn't associate with certain types of situations, scenarios, or people for self-protective reasons. Of course, there's a slippery slope with this energy, which I will definitely get to when we talk about the lower vibration, but there are times in life where being a little leery about something and being self-protective is not a bad practice at all. Because while not every situation is bad for you, there are certain situations that may be unconstructive, so being a little trepidatious is called for at times. For this reason, on a social level, we may be more inclined to have more one-on-one situations rather than a gaggle of people around us. So even though this is a very withdrawn energy, it doesn't imply that we won't hang out with people. It's just more so we might be more selective on who we spend our energy with. And because of the need for substance, it's a time where we're going to focus our energy on more meaningful relationships rather than just having that quantity around us. Of course, there's a lower vibration to this. Anytime a planet changes signs, we always end up getting the higher aspects of it, but we also get the unconstructive version of it. And with energy like this, we need to be mindful of our fixation on things because it can lead to obsession. It can lead to obsessing over a topic, it can lead to obsessing over a situation, and other ways our minds might hyper-focus on something unhealthily. Coming back to that self-protectiveness about this energy, we have to be aware of being overly suspicious. There is a point of being leery for the sake of being leery because something feels off, and we definitely feel our feels in this energy. We're more intuitive under this sign, but some of that caution can turn into being overly suspicious and overly self-protective. And so you have to find a fine balance when it comes down to that in this energy. Sometimes this can manifest as a need for controlling things in order to maintain that self-protectiveness. So that's definitely something to be aware of when it comes down to this energy. Other than that, Scorpio season is excellent for going there and transforming the situations in our lives that need a little bit of purifying. On that same day, Venus is going to make a Sesquiquadrate with Pluto, which can help us see where we need to empower ourselves in relationships. So this might encourage us to let go of romantic situations that are not constructive for us. For those in healthy relationships, an alignment like this could be great for intensifying passion and intimacy and just having moments of connectiveness with your partner. However, in unbalanced unions, this might enunciate the toxic side of those relationships. Some of the ways this can manifest is being triggered due to the mistrust that's been happening in the relationship. So we might hyper-focus on things in the past that never got resolved and we're carrying resentment for in that romantic union. This could also be a time of uncovering the truth about a situation that's unscrupulous in a romantic union. And this could lead to a power struggly day in a romantic relationship where there's control issues and dominance problems. So a transit like this can give us the nudge needed to work on certain scenarios in our love life that's no longer serving us. Of course, these are not overnight things. Anytime you see these complex transits, it doesn't mean that you're going to leave that situation on that particular day, but it does serve as a nudge needed to start the process of getting out of situations that are no longer serving you. On the 24th, Saturn is making a trine with the Sun. And so this means we have 10 more days until Saturn goes direct. This is a retrograde alignment. This is a semi-annual retrograde alignment that we get. We get it as the retrograde is opening 10 days before it stations into its retrograde motion, and then we get it 10 days before it stations direct out of its retrograde motion. With an energy like this, we might feel as though things are loosening up, especially things that seemed like they were on hold. In other words, if we ran into some roadblocks during the Saturn retrograde cycle, this may be a time where we're seeing things are starting to finally loosen up and break free. We're starting to see that there may be some progress to be had soon. It might be a time where you're slowly gaining some momentum and you're seeing that there can be some sort of release if you've been restricted for a while. Another thing with this energy is we can see some of our progress in terms of maturity, how we've set boundaries, how we became more disciplined, giving us a nice boost of self-assurance to our ego because we've done the work necessary to gain some sort of stability in our lives. This can also usher in a time where we're getting some sort of recognition for our efforts because an energy like this is going to reward us for our hard work and effort. So this is a time to really pat yourself on the back, especially if you've been doing the work necessary to gain whatever it is you're trying to level up on in life. Saturn will go out of its retrograde motion on November 4th. The 27th brings in another Venus transit this week, this time to Chiron, and it'll be in the form of a Quincunx. And because it's a quincunx, it may show us where we lack self-awareness about how we show up in relationships. Due to this being in alignment with Chiron, it may show where we give too much in relationships. So it may point out where we're self-abandoning in order to win the favor of a partner, in order to win the favor of someone that we're interested in. So this may show where we betray ourselves, unintentionally of course, for the sake of love. So this may push us in the direction of working on self-worth issues. Also, this may manifest as resentment that's accumulated because we aren't speaking up due to not wanting to disrupt the flow, not wanting to rock the boat. So this may show us where we need to work on passive-aggressive behavior because it's harming ourselves and relationships that we have. And another way that this could manifest is through finances. Venus has to do with how we earn our money. So this could be a time where we realize that we need to value ourselves more and know that we deserve better when it comes down to our career situations. And this is not to say to jump ship on that day. Obviously, this is a hard alignment. Things take time, and this could do with relationship stuff and also to do with career stuff. Always make sure you have a good exit strategy. Always make sure you have a backup plan before you do the steps of removing yourself from these situations that are no longer serving you. Saturday and Sunday brings us a mix of Mercury and Mars transits. These two planets are going to form a conjunction with one another, and while they're doing that, they're going to connect to Jupiter and Neptune. And due to the conflicting mix of energies, we could feel all over the place. We may have a period where our minds are sharp as hell from this Mercury-Mars conjunction, but also periods where we're a little foggy. Also periods where we're a little bit careless. Also moments where we might want to engage in excitement-seeking behavior, making for what might be a very messy weekend. Hopefully with this Mercury-Mars conjunction there are mitigating factors, because this one is great for being clear-minded. It's great for assertiveness. It's great for thinking decisively, engaging in lively and passionate chats, and feeling the need to engage in fun antics. And a vibe like this could be really motivating. But contrasting that, Mercury and Mars are connecting with Neptune in a hard alignment, which could cause us to feel demotivated at times. Energy like this tends to bring in a foggy tone. It tends to bring in a not feeling as though we can make proper decisions because our judgment might be clouded. So we might have moments where we feel motivated from that Mercury-Mars conjunction and others where we have no sense of direction. Also, you want to be mindful of the details over these next couple of days, more or less just because there's that fog that's coming up. Generally, if we just had that Mercury-Mars conjunction, we'd be able to focus our energy. But with this Neptune stuff and Jupiter thrown in for good measure, it may be a very foggy day in terms of having good judgment. The Neptune and Jupiter stuff combined with these planets could ramp up impulsivity as well. So this next 48 hours, we may feel a little bit more reckless than normal. We may act impetuously more than typical. So that's something to be aware of as well. So if you can, try not to rush through things. If you have important details that you need to go over, take your time or go back to it when you actually feel more clear-minded. Because with energy like this, you might miss the fine print on something that you really needed to read. So yeah, this last full week of October is anything but boring. This month has been anything but boring, and this is no different. So do the best you can to navigate these energies and stay as grounded as possible. Anyway, I hope you all have the best week ever. Later, and see you in the next episode.